Welcome to The Deep Dive,
Yeah.
where we take your sources and extract the most important nuggets of knowledge. Today, we're diving into a pretty tasty but, often confusing debate. One many of you have likely pondered while standing right there in front of your kitchen appliance. Juicing versus smoothies. You've got your vibrant fruits and veggies, maybe some greens, and the big question looms, is one truly actually better?
Yeah, it's a really persistent question, isn't it? Especially in the world of liquid nutrition. They promise so much, everything from a quick energy boost to that sort of health glow. But do they deliver equally on those promises? I mean, is your body secretly missing out on key nutrients with one over the other? We're going to try and blend the facts today, help you choose the best option for you. We'll look at their origins, how your body actually processes them, debunk some common myths, and even peek into what the future might hold.
Okay, so this whole idea, this liquid revolution extracting plant essences, it isn't actually new at all, is it?
No, not at all. That's absolutely right. The ancient roots of juicing, they go back centuries. Think Ayurvedic practices in India, traditional Chinese medicine. They were pressing herbs and fruits to create these potent medicinal elixirs, really focusing on extracting specific therapeutic compounds.
Right. And then in the Western world, it really kicked off, I guess, in the 1930s with pioneers like Dr. Norman Walker. He was a big raw food advocate. And then who could forget the juice man himself, Jack LaLanne, in the 50s? He basically put juicers in, well, seemingly every household, often tying juicing to things like detox and cleanse diets.
Yeah, he really popularized it. Smoothies, though, are definitely the younger sibling here. More flexible, too. I mean, blenders existed before, sure, but the health beverage we think of as a smoothie that really gained traction in the 60s and 70s came along with that broader health food movement. They offered a really convenient way to consume whole fruits and vegetables. And, a simple blender made them much more accessible. Juicers were often, and still can be, pretty expensive.
Okay, so both kind of offered this concentrated dose of nature's bounty just in a glass. But the way they're actually made makes all the difference once they hit your system, doesn't it?
Precisely. That's the crucial point. At first glance, a bright green juice and a thick berry smoothie, they might seem equally healthy, both packed with produce, right? But the fundamental difference, the real game changer, it boils down to one incredibly important nutrient: fiber.
Okay, fiber. So for juicing, maybe think about squeezing an orange. You get that sweet liquid, the juice, but what's left behind in the juicer, the squeezer, all that pulp, the white stringy bits, those fibrous membranes, essentially almost all the insoluble fiber is stripped away. So what you're left with is this concentrated shot of vitamins, minerals, plant compounds, and they're incredibly easy for your body to absorb because there's basically no fiber slowing things down.
Exactly. It truly is like a fast-track express lane for nutrients. Yeah. Straight into your bloodstream. A juice is essentially a highly refined extract of the plant.
Okay, got it. Now smoothies. Let's take that same orange, but instead of squeezing, we blend it. Maybe throw in some spinach, a bit of water, or almond milk. A smoothie keeps everything right. The pulp, sometimes the skin if you leave it on, even tiny seeds, it's all just pulverized into a thick, drinkable consistency. And this means a smoothie retains pretty much all the fiber from whatever ingredients you put in.
That's the key. It's essentially like eating the whole fruit or vegetable, just like blend it up. Your digestive system still has to work on that fiber, although maybe a bit less than if you were chewing the whole raw produce. Think of a smoothie as finely chopping and mashing the entire plant material. And this one crucial element, fiber, profoundly impacts your blood sugar response and how full you feel afterwards.
Okay, so knowing fiber is that core difference. So let me dig into what that means for your body. Why is that fiber content or lack thereof such a game changer when we're talking liquid nutrition?
Right. This is probably the most significant functional difference we see: the blood sugar response. When you drink juice, especially juices heavy on the fruit, those natural sugars hit your bloodstream very, very quickly. There's no fiber there to act like a sort of gentle brake, slowing down that sugar absorption. So you get a rapid spike in blood sugar. And often that's followed by a potential energy crash later on. These consistent spikes, day after day, they're really undesirable. They can lead to energy slumps, cravings, and over time, they might even contribute to issues like insulin resistance.
Okay, so that super fast absorption isn't necessarily a good thing. And that's where smoothies really have the edge, isn't it? Because they keep the fiber. The sugar absorption must be totally different.
Totally different. Absolutely. Smoothies, because they retain all that wonderful fiber, they allow the sugars to be absorbed much more slowly, much more steadily. The fiber basically provides a buffer. It prevents those dramatic blood sugar spikes and crashes, which makes smoothies a far, far more favorable choice if you're looking for stable energy levels throughout your day and just better overall metabolic health.
And fiber is also the champion for satiety, right? That feeling of fullness.
Yes, exactly. Fiber adds bulk physically to the contents of your stomach. It also slows down gastric emptying, how fast food leaves your stomach. All of this signals to your brain that you're full, which really helps to curb overeating later. With juice, it's actually quite easy to drink a large amount of calories, mostly from fruit sugars, without feeling particularly full at all, which can easily lead to consuming more calories than you intended later in the day. Smoothies, though, especially if you add things like protein powder, Greek yogurt, or healthy fats like avocado or chia seeds, they become incredibly satiating. They can genuinely serve as a proper meal replacement that keeps you full for hours.
That's a really compelling point for smoothies. Okay, thinking about gut health now, which is such a huge topic these days. Could juicing, by removing the fiber, actually be bad for your gut health in the long run?
That's an excellent question, and it brings us right to the gut microbiome. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria, fungi, viruses, this whole ecosystem. And guess what their favorite food is?
Fiber.
Fiber, exactly. Fiber acts as a prebiotic food for those beneficial gut bacteria. So smoothies packed with fiber really help your gut microbiome thrive. And a thriving microbiome is linked to all sorts of benefits: improved digestion, reduced inflammation, even a stronger immune system. Juices, because they're stripped of fiber, largely miss out on feeding those crucial gut microbes. You could think of it this way: juicing feeds you nutrients very quickly, but blending feeds you nutrients. A&D feeds your beneficial gut bacteria too.
Huh. So it's not just about what nutrients you get, but also about feeding the system that helps you use them.
Precisely. And one last point here: nutrient concentration versus nutrient completeness. Juice does offer a very highly concentrated dose of certain vitamins and minerals in a small volume, which, okay, can be beneficial for someone maybe struggling to eat enough whole produce, or perhaps needing a very easily digestible nutrient boost for a specific reason. However, like we said, this also means a higher concentration of sugar, usually without that fiber buffer. Smoothies, on the other hand, give you a much more complete nutritional package. You can add protein, healthy fats, a huge variety of ingredients. You can really turn it into a balanced meal with all your macronutrients and micronutrients accounted for.
Okay, so given all that science, it really does sound like there are specific times when one might be better than the other. When might you actually genuinely reach for a juice, and when is a smoothie pretty much the clear winner for most people?
Yeah, the answer really does depend on your specific goals at that moment. Juicing might have a niche role, but it's generally quite limited for most folks. For instance, in some very specific medical situations, maybe severe digestive issues like Crohn's disease during a flare-up, or perhaps immediately post-surgery on the digestive tract, doctors might recommend very low-fiber, nutrient-dense juices, but that's always under strict medical supervision. It's about giving the gut a rest.
Right. Or maybe as a really focused nutrient shot, like a small, mostly vegetable juice, very low in fruit sugar, perhaps for a quick micronutrient top-up if someone genuinely struggles to eat enough whole vegetables. But even then, you're making that trade-off. You're losing that crucial fiber.
Exactly that trade-off. And yes, certain specific therapeutic diets, or maybe the clear liquid diets required before some medical procedures like colonoscopies, might incorporate pulp-free juices. But for everyday health, for the vast majority of us just living our daily lives, smoothies generally reign supreme.
Okay, let's talk about that everyday health. And where do smoothies really come out on top?
Absolutely. This is where they truly shine. Like we touched on, they're excellent as a balanced meal replacement, especially when you combine fruits, vegetables, a good protein source. Think protein powder, Greek yogurt, even tofu. And those healthy fats, avocado, nuts, seeds, chia, flax, they keep you full for hours.
And because of that fiber, protein, and fat combo, they seem great for weight management too, right? Promoting that fullness, maybe helping reduce overall calorie intake naturally.
Definitely. That satiety factor is huge for weight management. And as we discussed, smoothies are gut health heroes. That fiber is just crucial for nourishing your beneficial gut bacteria. That's becoming clearer and clearer in research. They're also fantastic for sneaking extra veggies into picky eaters. Works for adults and kids. You can blend a pretty significant amount of spinach or kale into a fruit smoothie without the taste being overpowering. My kids definitely benefit from that trick.
Huh. A secret weapon for parents everywhere, and for athletes. Seems like a smoothie could be perfect post-workout fuel.
Oh, absolutely. A well-balanced smoothie provides easily digestible carbs for energy replenishment, protein for muscle repair and building, and all those vital micronutrients for overall performance and recovery. And yeah, while both are convenient in their own way, a well-formulated smoothie is far more likely to be a complete, sustaining meal you can grab on the go compared to most juices.
Okay, the world of health and nutrition, as we know all too well, is just swimming in myths. So let's try and cut through some of the noise surrounding juices and smoothies. Debunk a few common ones.
Sounds good. Let's start with a big one. Myth number one. Juicing detoxes your body. You hear this constantly. The reality, your liver and your kidneys are incredibly sophisticated, powerful detoxification systems. They are working 24/7, doing that job extremely well. No juice, no special diet, no cleanse can magically detox your body faster or more effectively than these organs already do. Now, a nutrient-rich diet certainly supports their function, but juicing itself holds no special detox power. In fact, those juice-only cleanses, they can actually be potentially harmful because they're often dangerously low in protein and healthy fats. And those nutrients are essential for cellular repair and the body's actual natural detoxification processes.
Right, so those expensive juice cleanses are basically selling us, what, an expensive way to feel hungry and maybe run to the bathroom more. Good to know my liver and kidneys are handling things without needing a $50 a day juice subscription.
Precisely. Okay, myth number two. Juicing is superior because the nutrients are pre-digested and therefore more easily absorbed.
Yeah, I hear that one all the time too. People argue it just goes straight into your system, instantly nourishing you.
Well, it's true, the lack of fiber means quicker absorption of sugars and some nutrients, but more easily absorbed isn't always better absorbed. Not by a long shot. As we've discussed, that rapid sugar absorption leads straight to those undesirable blood sugar spikes. Our bodies are perfectly designed, evolved over millennia, to digest whole foods, fiber and all. That fiber is absolutely crucial for regulating blood sugar, for moving food smoothly through the digestive tract, preventing constipation, and, as we now know, for feeding our vital gut bacteria. So, relying solely on pre-digested nutrients completely overlooks these critical, beneficial digestive processes. Think of it like this. Yeah, your sports car can go 150 miles per hour, but is driving at that speed always the best way to get around town? Sometimes a slower, more deliberate pace is actually better for the engine, your fuel efficiency, and definitely your safety. Same idea with digestion.
That's a fantastic analogy. Makes perfect sense. Okay, myth three. Smoothies are just glorified milkshakes and they're always unhealthy.
Oh, this one. It couldn't be further from the truth, really. A smoothie's health value depends entirely on what you put into it. Sure, if you load up a smoothie with sugary fruit juices from concentrate, scoops of ice cream, chocolate syrup, yeah, that's going to be unhealthy. That is basically a milkshake. But a smoothie made with whole fruits, leafy greens like spinach or kale, maybe some healthy fats like avocado or nut butter, and a good protein source, that's a nutritional powerhouse. It's an incredibly versatile canvas for health, not some inherently unhealthy indulgence. It's all about the ingredients.
Right, context is everything. And finally, myth four. You absolutely need to buy a super expensive high-end juicer or blender to make healthy drinks at home.
Not at all. That's definitely a myth pushed by marketing sometimes. A basic, decent blender can make excellent, nutritious smoothies. And even for juicing, if you really wanted to try it, you can use simpler methods like a basic citrus press for oranges or lemons, or even a nut milk bag to strain blended produce if you wanted pulp-free liquid. The key is always the quality and variety of your ingredients. The fruits, the veggies, the protein, the fats, not the hefty price tag of your equipment.
Okay, so we've looked back at the history, we've really dissected the science, especially around fiber, and busted some common myths. Where are juicing and smoothies headed in the future? What's sort of on the horizon for liquid nutrition?
Well, one big trend we're seeing is a significant move towards personalized nutrition. Technologies like continuous glucose monitors, CGMs, they're becoming much more accessible to the general public now. These allow you to see, in real time, exactly how different foods, including smoothies, affect your individual blood sugar levels. So you can imagine down the line maybe an app suggesting the optimal smoothie blend specifically for you, based on your own health data, your activity level that day, maybe even your unique gut microbiome profile.
Wow, that's fascinating. A truly customized approach.
Yeah.
And I've definitely noticed just reading around this growing focus on whole food nutrition over just focusing on isolated nutrients. That feels like a big win for smoothies, doesn't it?
It absolutely is. That's great news for the smoothie side of things because smoothies inherently embody that whole food approach, right? They keep the fiber, they allow for this broad spectrum of ingredients working together. Research will likely keep highlighting the importance of what's called the food matrix, basically, how nutrients interact synergistically within their natural packaging, which is often much more beneficial than just taking them as isolated supplements or extracts. And that gut health revolution, it just keeps deepening our understanding of the microbiome, which makes fiber and prebiotics even more central to health discussions. Future research might even explore specific probiotic strains or targeted prebiotic ingredients to add to smoothies for specific gut health benefits.
And I also see, just environmentally, this rising emphasis on sustainability and sourcing. More focus on local, organic, sustainably grown produce. I wonder if future innovation might even include using parts of fruits and veggies we often discard, like certain peels or leaves, blended into drinks to help reduce food waste.
Absolutely. That's a huge trend, integrating sustainability. And get ready for smart kitchen technology, too. Imagine blenders that can suggest recipes based on your dietary needs, scan the ingredients you have available in your fridge, or maybe even sync with your fitness tracker. Personalized nutrient delivery systems are rapidly developing, and liquid nutrition is such a natural fit for that. We're likely going to see more sophisticated, maybe custom, pre-portioned smoothie subscription services, taking convenience and personalization to the next level.
So it sounds like, well, juicing will probably always have its niche appeal, maybe for those very specific, limited uses we talked about. The overall trajectory really points towards smoothies continuing to evolve as the dominant science-backed choice,
Yeah.
especially for convenient, comprehensive, and increasingly personalized liquid nutrition.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summary. So, juicing versus smoothies, which one is actually better? After blending all the facts, looking at the science, for most people, for most everyday health goals,
Hmm.
smoothies generally do come out on top.
Right. And the key takeaway, the real why behind the what, it truly does boil down to that one word, fiber. Smoothies, because they retain all the fiber from those whole food ingredients, offer that sustained release of energy. They promote lasting fullness. And crucially, they nourish your incredibly important gut microbiome. They're just such a versatile canvas, really, for creating a truly balanced meal or snack, letting you pack in a wide array of vitamins, minerals, protein, and healthy fats all in one go.
Exactly. Juices, on the other hand, while they offer that quick, concentrated shot of certain nutrients, they completely miss out on the vital benefits of fiber, which leads to that rapid sugar absorption, less satiety, and no food for your gut bugs. So while juicing might have very, very limited specific applications, it's just not the best daily strategy for holistic health for most people. And it's certainly definitely not a detox solution, despite the marketing hype.
So instead of chasing those quick fixes or magic bullets, it's about empowering yourself with knowledge, right? Listen to your body, experiment responsibly with what works for you, and remember that real sustainable health isn't usually about rigid rules. It's more about making confident, informed decisions based on your unique needs and goals. So next time you're thinking about a liquid health boost, maybe consider reaching for your blender first. Build a smoothie that truly nourishes you body and gut and, well, blend your way to a healthier, more vibrant life.
Well said. Choose wisely, blend brilliantly, and nourish your health from the inside out.